Who?
It's a group of them. It's the same people all the time.
The same group that just walks by again and again.
Yeah. Yep. I hadn't seen them.
What about those guys?
I've never seen them before, but I don't know. I hadn't seen them today.
Never had one.
I had people come at me like this. It's like they're mad at me. And like generally, when you talk to people in this town, they're real nice. You just say, "How are you
Everybody,
doing?"
yeah, has been really nice. Did you see the guy with the sign?
Yeah.
Have you been seeing him?
Yeah.
That's a new one?
Yeah.
I did an interview with him.
I noticed that, yeah.
Just because he was unique. I just was like, okay, what's going on?
There's a lot of weird things going on right now.
Did they like take down Civil War stuff out here?
Not yet.
Did any of that ever happen? Any protests?
Still here. They just put up a slave wall or something. UVA did a memorial.
I
think
saw
it was
that.
just to stir the pot. Most of the people in this town, I would say, are not racist. I mean, a month before that Unite the Right shit happened, you would have never thought that kind of shit would have even ever happened here. Never.
I wonder why they came here. What was the big deal?
The statue, General Lee.
People wanted to take it down. That back then, a couple of years ago?
Well, I didn't hear anything about it until I don't know his name, he's from New York, said something to his daughter about that statue being racist, and then it just started this big debacle about taking it down, and then all these white supremacists from all over the country came here, AR-15s, all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh, I remember.
Our city was generally fighting against them. We were
I forgot completely about that. This was the town where the guy had the Dodge Challenger or Charger or whatever and ran right into the crowd. Where you had the KKK.
But I mean, I don't really feel bad for him. He probably shouldn't have been fucking around down here like that anyway. You support a hate machine, you're gonna get hate. That's what it was.
Yeah, right. So what was your name again?
And Justin.
You're only what?
28. Been out here for about 10 years.
And you used to make, now when you say been out here, been out in Virginia or been out in Charlottesville?
Well, actually, I've been in Virginia pretty much my whole life, minus, Texas for a short stint.
What part of Texas?
Austin.
Austin. Now look, I used to live in Houston, and Austin is, that's like the most liberal, arty,
keep it weird. That's what
keep it weird, right? I mean, that's almost like Hyde Park or New Orleans, you know what I mean, of Texas. I mean, that's a really cool city there. What were you doing out there?
I was just living. Wanted to change. Went out there with $20 in my pocket, slept on a baseball field the first night, got in the Salvation Army the second, and then got into a Studio 6 3 weeks later, working for a junk removal company. Living life, really.
How old were you back then?
26.
So this is just a couple years ago?
Yeah, just a couple years ago.
So were you in Virginia for a while and then you kind of went over to Austin?
Yeah, I've been in Virginia my whole life, and then I just kind of made the move. I had a friend out there on the streets. He kind of needed some help, so I just did it. It was just me and him and a German Shepherd.
What was your upbringing like?
Raised on a turkey farm, and then and then from there we moved to a small town. So really just a small town, and then here recently Charlottesville.
Teenager, adolescent, you were growing up and raising turkeys.
Yeah, kinda. Up until 5th grade. And then, you know, we moved to a smaller town, and I was raised in a family business where we built vending machines.
Okay, all right. So did you guys have the vending machines, or did you just keep them all?
Yeah, my parents actually owned the company, and you know, they raised it from the ground up, and I just kind of, you know, I worked through them for years.
Yeah. Or where are they? Are you still in pretty good contact with them? Or?
Well, we had a falling out, and my dad, you know, we don't see eye to eye. You know, my mother, we do. So.
Are they still in that business?
No, they sold the company, and now they do storage auctions.
But they do storage auctions.
Yeah, they ended up selling the company, and originally started selling on eBay, kind of like I was doing, and then they moved on to storage auctions and, you know, furniture, stuff like that. Right. They're still doing it, you know, just hustling their way through life. You know?
How long has it been since you talked to your mom or your dad?
Oh, I talked to my mom here recently. I mean, we don't talk too much. It's really been like a good 4 years.
And how long you been here in Charlottesville?
About 2
years.
2 years, yeah. And then a year prior to that, so almost 3 years altogether.
And what I'm trying to figure out is that, you know, you're a presentable guy. You know, part of my channel is eliminating the judgment from people who fall on hard times, make a couple of bad decisions. I mean, I don't know how many times it took before you kind of got hooked on whatever it is you got hooked on.
Well, you know, like everybody knows the bottom's flooded with it, you know. I just kind of fell into it, you know. Originally, when I came here, I got a job pretty quick, you know, got out of the shelter, and then, you know, hard times fell with my roommate, and I got put back on the street. The shelter wasn't an option, so, you know, push come to shove, you know, here I am doing things.
How long ago was that?
About a year ago. About a year ago.
Have you talked to your roommate at all?
No, he hauled ass. You know.
Where'd he take off to?
Keysville. I don't even know where it is.
Probably
a couple hours. Yeah, a couple hours away. Yeah, I mean, he was an older man. You know, we didn't really, you know, do a whole lot together. You know, it was, you know, I did mine and he did his, but then he, you know, he had an alternate agenda where, you know, he was going to do what he was going to do, and he stole the rent money. You know, unfortunately.
Are you used to people kind of doing you dirty?
Yeah, it happens a good bit. You know, like it seems like you get a good thing going, and then people have short-term goals, and then, you know, they kind of drag you in with what they got going on. You know, and I'm guilty for letting it happen. You know, I let my guard down too easy. I'm a little too trusting with people I probably shouldn't be, but, you know, they don't really give me any other reason to think, you know, they're going to do what they're going to do, but then shit happens. You know?
Yeah. How old were you when you started,
well,
you know, making some real bad decisions? And I say bad decisions, you know, everybody makes.
I mean, I fought it for a long time. You know, like probably 25. You know, when a lot of options, you know, stopped. Like, you know, I've always had a pretty good range of options, opportunities. You know, it hasn't always been the best. I mean, I was kicked out 8 days after my 18th birthday. I mean, as best as it could be, you know, and I always made best of it, but then a lot of things start shutting down around me, and, you know it's there, what's left, and then it just became the only thing for a while. I mean, I've always kind of tried to hold my composure together, you know, pretty private person. But
I know, it's really hard to get you to do anything on camera.
Yeah, no kidding.
I said, okay, I'm going to give it one last shot. And I said, I just saw you, and I thought, man, this guy's got a really good heart. He doesn't see, you know, you're running a lot of people, and I am. I mean, my channel is called Prison Junkie, for crying out loud. I've had 9 hospitalized heroin overdoses. Right. You know, and it's not like it's just recent history. I mean, this is over the course of 20 years. I've done 7 years in prison. I see somebody like you, you're 15 years younger than me, and guess what? I was 31 years old the first time I started doing time. So here I am, 43 years old. 8 out of the last 12 years, 7.5 out of the last 12 years, I've been locked up. And it's non-violent, it's all drug stuff.
Right.
You know, it just starts building up. You catch the possession charge. Virginia's tough.
Yeah.
They violate you violate again, you get a couple dirty urine, maybe they find something, paraphernalia in your car.
Yeah, I mean, when I was 18,
I
got caught with a quarter pound of pot. When I was actually 18. I beat the charge in court. But, I mean, that never, you know, weighed any effect on me. But, you know, I went years without any kind of trouble, not even a traffic ticket, and then all of a sudden, you know, start making bad decisions. It's just like it just steamrolls over top of you, you know, one thing after another. And like you said, things build up on you real fast.
So when did you start with?
Probably 25.
And so before that, what was it? What did you do? Any sort of drugs at all? Just smoke weed?
Yeah, I stayed on, you know, marijuana maintenance, so to say.
Had you dabbled around a little bit before that?
A
little bit?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just a little bit, not much. I mean,
just never really got you, huh?
Yeah, it was never in the plans by no means. You know, I never wanted to, you know, go do them things. I mean, I had ambitions of, you know, being successful.
Yeah.
You know, I always wanted to, you know, make good money doing legitimate things, and you know.
Well, you mentioned some entrepreneurial things. You were selling mystery boxes. You were doing eBay, buying and selling on eBay. I mean, tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, from the age of 16, I've always been, you know, buying stuff at Goodwill, selling it.
Flipping, hustling.
Yeah, like I paid $2 for a sonogram machine, you know, where they do autopsies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I paid $2, sold it for $1,400. You know, that's the kind of stuff I was doing. And I mean, I was doing well. And, you know, I had a reason to wake up every morning. And then, you know, one day, you know, that all stopped when I lost my account. You know, I lost my income, you know. And then, you know, you kind of make up, you try to substitute where you lost. When things don't work out.
Is that what it did for you?
Yeah, it was a high. You know, like there was nothing more than I loved going thrift shopping and, you know, finding stuff to make money with. You know, that's what I lived to do. To be honest with you, it was a high in itself. And then when that all stopped, you know, that's when everything else kind of rolled in.
Why did it stop?
I lost my eBay selling privilege.
What happened? Something you don't want to talk about?
Me and my father got into it. He locked up something like 50 orders. I was filling a cargo van up every day. Every morning I had so many packages, I would fill up a whole cargo van to take it to the post office. And that all stopped when, you know, he locked everything up in a trailer and wouldn't let me get it. You know, and then, you know, 50 people don't get their orders, you lose your account. They don't want you selling on there because they look at you as like, yeah, I mean, 50 people don't get the stuff they paid for. It looks really bad on you, like, you know. There's multiple things that could have happened, you know, but they don't look at it like he had a catastrophe. They look at it, we don't want this guy. So, you know, I went from over like 5,000 transactions to nothing. So.
And then at that point, you lost everything. Now you're homeless. At that point, you just, okay, Dad split.
Yeah, I mean, I went from like trying to find, you know, partners to get started back up with it. And, you know, a lot of people with short-term goals, you know, they run off $500. We could have made $5,000 by the end of the week, but they, you know, made $500, ran off with it. And then I just got real burnt out with it. So then I came to terms, hey, just get a job, you know. So I got a job at a leading pawn shop chain, you know, doing their e-commerce. And, yeah, sure. And I ended up losing that job, and then I just kind of gave up, you know, with having anything because, you know, I was without a home at this point, without a job. It just got really hard, and that was what was easy, you know.
What was the tipping point for you to really get hooked on? Get hooked on ice, meth, cocaine, or whatever.
It became an everyday thing with the people around me. You know, I got forced into live in an environment where they did it every day, where I wasn't so much used to it. And then the nature of it, you want to do it every day.
Did you take to it immediately? It was like, okay, this is
not
it, man.
Not initially, you know, you fight it, you know, but it was the dead of winter. You know, we're living in a basement that's unfinished. It's cold as, you know, all shit, and you know, it makes it easier, you know. It was almost like a necessity at that point, you know, because when you go without food, you know, you don't have money, and that's there, and it seems like people are just more than willing to give it to you at times like that. I mean, I was never really paranoid about much, I mean, but it wasn't exactly easy to take a shower every day. I didn't have access to it. So you go 2-3 days. Going to sleep at night isn't a priority because you don't have to go to work in the morning. You know, you don't have to worry about your appearance, you know, what you look like, because You don't gotta go to work. You don't have no priorities, and then it just gets all out of fucking hand because you start living like that, and it just doesn't stop. You know, it continues on and on and on, and it does nothing but get worse. It's a progressive thing, and then before you know it, you're waist deep into something you never thought you'd be in. Well, I recently just did a stint in a mental hospital.
Where at?
I don't know the name. It was in Bristol.
Okay.
It was 3 or 4 hours away from here. I got taken in a police car.
And what happened? Why? What was the catalyst?
I just growing paranoia.
Yeah.
And I went there, just laid it out to them, and they thought, that's what I needed. And with that came a lot of hardships. I mean, the help didn't really help. It actually made things harder. They take you out 4 hours from where you're used to, and then they just throw you out. And the whole time I was in there, they didn't really teach me anything. They gave me a diagnosis. That's what they did. They said I was bipolar schizophrenic, and that was it. They gave me 3 meals and a snack every now and then, and they put you back out on the street where you're not even from.
Did they give you any medicine?
No medicine, nothing. A nicotine patch,
That'll cure everything, right? What else do you need but a nicotine patch? Hell, problem solved, man. The world's saved.
Exactly.
What else do you need?
That time though gave me a chance to really start thinking about getting better. So that's when I really started thinking, hey, I want something different. That clarity. It was a blessing and a curse.
So is it a grind every day? Is it you doing it every day? Just when you can get it? Because look, I mean,
it's around. The way it is around here, it's around all the time.
It's cheap.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you ain't looking for it, it's gonna find you. It's amazing how, like, even in Bristol, I walked past an ATM and there's a wallet sitting on top of it. I grabbed the wallet and I open it up, and it looks like this dude that's sitting under a tree right across the parking lot. I go over there and I give him his wallet. He hands me a pipe. And that's just the way things are going. It's just like, it's unreal. You try to do the right thing, and then, that's what gets thrown in your face constantly.
Because you don't have the ability to
you don't
wipe
have
the slate clean.
Yeah, and you have nothing
You're
better
talking about
going.
basic shelter, food.
Yeah.
Being around good people. I mean, if you're hanging out with stockbrokers, you're probably not going to have that problem. And doctors, but you're not. You're on the street, right?
Where I had other things going on once upon a time, this stuff, when they're throwing it in my face, it's only going to make me not hungry. In the long run, it makes you crazy. But in the short term, you got everything to gain, what you think anyway, and the whole time you're just building this monster within yourself that just gets worse and worse, and it's one of them things people, they want to bring you down with them. It seems like it's, I don't know.
It just clarifies and cuts through and gets down to the essence of, okay, it's just a survival. I always call it like it's a shark moves through the water, it never stops moving until it gets the next meal, and then it just keeps on going.
Yeah, exactly. Days run together, and what happens is, like, it's not until you don't have it, things become a problem. You don't worry about anything until you don't have it. Yeah. So then the allure to stay on it is more and more. It's not like getting clean is a good thing at this point, because you start worrying about things, and so the drive to stay high is constant, and that brings the problem on itself.
Can you ever imagine having a normal life? Like a wife?
Yeah, I could.
Kids?
I'm not.
Is that something you want? What do you want?
I want something normal, and that being 9-to-5 job, family, place to live, become regular, not have to, go here, take a shower, go here to get something to eat, run here, wait 2 hours for a burrito, I just want something normal. I want groceries in the kitchen.
Why do you have to wait 2 hours for a burrito?
Some of these places, these soup kitchens,
yeah.
I've waited two hours for a taco about this big, and
what is it like? What's it like staying in one of these places? Are there a lot of them around here?
At first, it's hard. It's really hard. It's embarrassing. You feel like you feel like you're always on trial, with people. You know, people are always curious of you. You know, they're always looking. You know, because I mean, the people around you are pretty wild, generally, it's hard. And then you get acclimated to it, and then that's when it gets scary. You know, because everything just is normal. Then you get stuck in it, and it's like, you know, going from a shelter to a shelter is no big deal, and getting a place isn't even in the agenda. And then you realize, oh, holy shit, I got a fucking problem. You know?
What's your plan for tonight?
I don't know. I run it by minute. You know, like things change. You know, a storm might come through where I was going to sleep ain't going to work out. You know, or somebody might hit me up, or if I go somewhere, you know, the people I'm with might get in a fight and kick me out because, you know, they're not getting along. That's what happened last night. You know, the couple I was with got in an argument. I left. And
they get a physical fight, or they?
Yeah, fighting, and you know.
You don't have to say who they are. I just.
Yeah, I mean, they were getting physical. I left, and when I went to, you know, come back after I thought they cooled down, they wasn't going to have me. You know, because everything's temperamental. You can't make plans. So that's where your life becomes, just temperamental.
So for you, is it strictly the one thing, or is it other
yeah,
stuff?
generally,
Just all depends?
generally, I try to limit. I'm trying to hold on to something. You know, like stand for something or fall for anything. But I'm not standing for much. I'm not saying that. But I try to do a little bit of disaster control, to be honest, where others are more wide open and seem like, you know, when you bring them back, they get pissed at you. You know, I've been cussed out for bringing somebody back to life. You know, they kicked me out of their house once I brought them back to life. You know, they're like, "Why'd you bring me back?" And I'm like, "Are you serious?" You know, and it's like that. You know, so your best friend might just want to die. You know, or who you think's your best friend. You know?
Now, what I want to do, and I mentioned this earlier, I don't know what I can do. My resources are very limited. You know, what I can do right now is, you know, is tell a story, make a couple of phone calls. Right. I mean, I'm fairly, I don't know, well connected or whatever. I know everybody that runs, and it's a part of the Winchester recovery community, which is where I got sober. So part of the deal is to pass it on to someone else. And, you know, I feel like you're, you know, I mean, how willing are you to, you know, do something different?
Well, with this recent clean time, you know, that was forced on me.
Now, what recent clean time? Yeah,
with the
hospital?
The hospital, yeah. It's made me more willing to want to get help, you know, because I've kind of gotten out of the fog, the routine, and I mean, I could very well slip right back into it and just not give a shit about getting better. But at this point in time, I'm very willing to, you know, get help, you know, where normally I wouldn't even, you know, second guessed it. You know, before the hospital, I've had weeks, like a week at a time, you know, I'll get away. And then what happens is, you know, I end up coming back here because I have nowhere else to go. And then you fall into the support system of the drug use. I mean, so then you fall back right into that routine, and that's your support system, is the drugs you're on.
And you got out of the hospital when?
3 days ago, two days ago.
So how many
actually.
times have you used since then?
Once, yeah.
Today or?
Earlier today.
Earlier today.
Yeah, and it's already. I hadn't been in town probably 4 hours. You know, right off the Greyhound bus. You know, nowhere else to go but the, you know, hotel room that they're serving people up at. You know, because that's the only place they'll have you. You know, you sit out in front of sheets too long, they kick you out. You know.
I know, they kicked us out.
There's nowhere to go, and I'm not too far gone yet. I think, you know, I can't get out of it. To it like I would normally would. You know, I felt guilty when I did. You know, 'cause I got a week and a half.
It goes
weeks.
away though, right?
Yeah, it does.
So at this rate, probably tonight. Where'd you get the money?
I got it on the front. I didn't even have to have money. You know, that's the way it goes. You don't even need money.
Now, are you at the point now where, you know, like, you know, panhandling, you kind of have to...
I've never panhandled, but probably just end up running on the dude before anything, you know. And maybe he'd just forget it because, you know, once upon a time I might have helped him out, you know.
So if you could have one thing in the world, man, what do you think? Where does it begin? How does it start?
I've family.
So let me ask you this: if it was possible to get you up until Winchester, Virginia, and get you a job, and get you into a program, maybe it wouldn't be an inpatient, maybe it'd be an outpatient program, and then get you into something like an Oxford House until you get back on your feet. I mean, would you be committed 100% to?
Fully. At this point, yeah, fully. It's a thought I've had already. I mean, I've thought it through, and you know, knowing the extent of the problem I have, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take some structure. It's not, you know, I got to have a little bit of pull, you know.
Because of my situation and everything, you know, I can't take you with me when I go to Winchester tonight. But what I can do is I can take your information. We're friends now on Facebook. I'm going to make calls as soon as I get out of here. As soon as I get home, I'm going to go to the place that I'm thinking of and see if we can't come up with something. I'm going to be your biggest advocate for a scholarship program. I'm going to tell you a little bit about your story online, and then I just, whatever connections or strings I can pull, I'm gonna try and do my very best to make that happen and help you out. So I need to get all of your. Are you okay giving me all your information so we can stay in touch with each other?
Yeah.
And I want to do this as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Probably be best.
Because it's pretty bad right now. Huh?
It is. It really is. I'm not gonna lie to myself. I'm not gonna lie to anybody about it. I mean, it's to the point where I gotta admit that. You know, if I don't, then it's just gonna get worse.
Have you ever gotten to the point where you just don't want to do it anymore? Maybe just life in general, just like.
I have, and that's led me to the hospital this last time. That was part of it.
And you didn't get any help.
No.
Nicotine patch.
Nicotine patch, exactly. Just a patch.
I'll get your word. You'll do your best. Look, I'm going to do everything I can to help you out.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thanks.
No, I really mean it. I'll be in touch with you either. I'm going to get in touch with you tonight. I don't know if you'll be able to talk to me, answer the phone or whatever. But as soon as you do get my message or you get a phone call, please, don't hesitate to call me. And if you get into a bad situation that you just can't get out of, again, I'll try and do what I can to, get you out of this. So this is Justin, Charlottesville, Virginia. Hey man, really, thank you for sitting down. You need.
I've been running round in circles, chasing my tail and lost my way, seeking shelter in different corners, never finding a place to stay. Somehow ended up here on the ground. Brother, help me up, I've fallen down.
Like his house got turned into a trap house and shit. So, it's pretty wild. And he's got people living in his basement,
How big is his house?
It's not very big. To the left. Sorry. It's not too big, but it's big enough to fucking put a bunch of junkies in.
How long have you been over there, bro?
Unfortunately, on and off for fucking 8 months. I try not to,
So what does he require for you?
Nothing. He just doesn't give a shit, and that's why it becomes the way it does. Resistant to go there at first, but you're talking, the winters out here get out to be about, 8 degrees some nights.
Yeah.
So, you either stay out on the street or you go to this place, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Does it really get to be 8 fucking degrees?
Yeah, some nights it gets cold out here. I mean, it gets below zero some winters, We get snow, we get blizzards. We hadn't had any, recent ones, and this winter was a mild one, but it did get extremely cold. There was a point where I was out one night with a friend, and I woke up, and he had icicles hanging out of his fucking nose from falling asleep in the car.
Really?
No shit. I don't necessarily like any minute I'm down here, though, because, it's a dirt basement. People come in and out. It's very hot. People steal shit. It's just anything that you have could be someone else's at any time. Just on some dumb shit. People are out to get you. It's just it's a breeding ground of fucking just dumbass shit. And it's probably one of the worst places in the city, to be honest with you. And the Salvation Army with this guy named Mike that stays in the basement now. He's pretty much taken it over, and you know he's just felt, you know, as loose as the dude that owns the place. So he, you know, he take it right. About anybody can stay there. You know what I'm saying? And here lately,
How does he pay his bills?
Who's that?
The old man.
I'm guessing it's Social Security or something. Sort. He had a roommate that lived upstairs. Mike don't pay him shit. Now the guy that was paying him done moved out, so I don't know how things have gotten since. Because I don't stay here for long since the time. Just only when I have to. It's just the unfortunate tale of how, you know, where drug addiction leads you. People, you know.
So that's what we gotta do. We gotta get you out, man.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you know.
I wish I had the means to do it myself. It's kind of like a spur of the moment thing. I want to, you know, get it to the point where, you know, I'm doing it for real. And
Well, I've contacted resources around here. They just can't get me into anything soon at all. Things are so messed up with this COVID shit, and the rehabs are, you know, half-mast, stuff like that. Right here, so you can pull right here on the side. And yeah, this is the house right here, and the basement's on the side. It's a lot of that shit. Yeah, if I sit out here too long, I'm gonna get fucking sketched out.
all right, Justin, listen, man, dude, I'm sorry, you know, to put you in this bad spot, but dude, I swear to God, man, I'm gonna fucking do everything I can, man, to help you out. So no bullshit.
Thanks, man.
No bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude, be safe, man, for
bro.
real.
Yeah.
You sure you're good?
Yeah, it's good meeting y'all, man.
Okay, brother. Seriously, man.
Yeah, man.
Be
I'll
safe.
stay in touch.
Hey, if you don't hear from me tomorrow by like 4 or 5 o'clock, seriously, dude, I mean, hit me up, okay?